In today's video, we're going to be taking a look here at the upcoming storminess that we see in this upcoming pattern. There is plenty of storms to talk about, especially in the eastern half of the nation. We're actually going to see multiple temperature patterns set up as well, different troughs and ridges on different sides of the nation, even in the middle of the nation at times, which is a little bit more rare. So we're going to see some different patterns that are very interesting that we get to talk about today. So lots and lots of cool stuff in this video. Now, before we get into things, be sure to check out our website, trilogymaps.com. I'm going to tell you guys a couple things about that real quickly, and then we're going to get into things. Quickly, I want to tell you about my other business that I've launched, trilogymaps.com, where we have the highest definition, most customizable digital maps available on the internet, perfect for creating the best weather forecast. And I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret here. As of today, if you use the discount code DIRECT in checkout, you will get 33% off your entire order. That's a third of the price. You cannot beat it, so be sure to check it out today in the description and pin comment down below. All right, now as we take a look at this evening, because this video is going to be out a little bit later here than our typical videos, we can see we have a pretty intense low developing here over Colorado. There's also a pretty large one over the British Columbia there as well, and that is causing storminess basically from corner to corner here, as you can see, both the southwest of Canada, the northwest of the United States, and even stretching towards the central United States. We're seeing plenty of these storms. And with this storm over Colorado here, we can see a bit of a warm front here, cold front down this way, and this is where we'd be watching for some thunderstorm activity underneath with that cold front. This warm front typically, not every time, because I don't want to deal in absolutes. The weather doesn't deal in absolutes, and none of us should either when referring to it. But basically, this should be mostly just showers, not thunderstorms. In other words, I put that very, very long. It should have been shorter than that, but that is the truth of it. As we see, this weakens a bit. It's over Nebraska, Kansas, Iowa, and Missouri there, over the corner of those four states there. There's a bit of a warm front, cold front happening. And again, thunderstorms mostly in the southern extent, probably more showers, if anything, in this northern extent. That doesn't mean that you can't hear thunder, but usually that's going to be more violent around that cold front and a lot more stable in the warm front is the best way to put it. Now, as this low passes through, because we have the warm front on the eastern end here, like we mentioned, in the cold front here, that means that a lot of cold air is moving in behind this. And as a result of this, we do see some wintry weather setting up for the mountainous west. Once again, mountainous west. I don't know if I said that right. We can see that for the Cascades down through the Sierra Nevadas, we see snowfall. Even Nevada itself, we're seeing that. And then down through all of the Rockies, basically, we're seeing snowfall return out west. As we continue forward towards Sunday, May 7th here, we can see that there is a weaker low over the kind of center of the nation. I would say that's actually like almost mathematically perfectly in the center there over kind of north central Kansas. I don't know exactly where the center point of the United States is. I would say probably somewhere near there. I'm gonna have to search that up after this video now, but that is pretty close. We can see that there is some storminess kind of outpacing a lot of this low pressure. I would say probably thunderstorm activity cannot be ruled out from Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Missouri, Illinois, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Minnesota there. We're seeing all of these areas deal with all of these storms here. Now, as we just continue this onward towards Monday, May 8th here, we can see that there is a pretty wintry storm moving through into Oregon and California. So we're beginning to see this happen. And then we can also see a lot of storms here for the upper Midwest. And we see some surging of this humidity and thunderstorms taking place here across a lot of the east here. So we are seeing plenty of activity on both the west and eastern side of things, as you can tell. And we're going to continue to see that actually for quite a while. By Tuesday the 9th here, we do see another trough is likely moving in here to the west. So we're seeing a bit of a ridge here over the Rockies primarily. Some of this warmth is spreading towards the east, though. It's just a little bit weaker by that point. This is redirecting a lot of the storminess to be taking place primarily over the southeast, as you can see, but there is some storms that are currently following this jet stream through the northwest there, and that's why we see storms along northern California there, and then the northern Rockies. So along that jet stream in the west, we are seeing some of that activity as well. By Wednesday, that's going to be May 10th here, we can see once more we're seeing something like this take place. So a lot of, again, ridging in the central here of the United States with these storms around here for a lot of these different areas. And again, this storm kind of moving through the jet stream here for the northern Rockies. We're going to be watching this very closely because this does look like it could feature some severe weather, especially if we get an organized low there and then begin to see this kind of warm front, cold front look from this. We'd be, again, watching that underneath area, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, for potential severe weather. Again, that's Wednesday the 10th we're starting out here. By the time we're reaching Thursday the 11th, we do see that we get some organized broad low pressure in here. We see 1,005 up here in Montana, 1,004 there in the panhandle of Oklahoma. Pretty equal there, broad low pressure. Now, let's say this one sets up as the primary low. We do have a pretty long cold front there, and this would create a large area of potential severe weather. If, in fact, the southern one turns into the primary low, we'd be looking at a more limited area likely just underneath the low. Now, either case, this is pretty impactful, but that is going to be the big difference maker, in my opinion, and that would be about a warm front right there. Now, by the time we reach Friday, what ends up happening is we actually see a lot of the low pressure in general just weaken. So we're seeing some broad low-ish pressure still, but it is diminished from even where it was. So we're seeing some storms here in Montana, the Dakotas, even Canada up there. And then through a lot of the Midwest, the Mississippi River area, some of the Ohio Valley and deeper south, we're seeing also some storms down here extending further and further eastward as time moves on. As we continue towards Saturday here, the 13th, we can see the storminess equally continues. Probably some warmer air surging in through here, some colder air wanting to move in through these areas, and that does create somewhat of some conflict there when you have these two air masses in a close proximity, obviously. By Sunday, we see a lot of this stretching further and further eastward. So again, the east has been active almost daily during this model run. And when we take a look at the total precipitation, it tells the full story. If you draw a line right here, a lot of this activity is in the east right there. As you can see, this is the primary kind of activity region, I would say. And a lot of this stems from this Gulf moisture that we've talked about in past videos that is kind of extending up from the Gulf here, even all the way towards the east. So that is kind of the root of all of this. Also, this jet stream is bringing in already organized lows, and those are moving in, and that Gulf moisture is only enhancing it. So the main storm track is something like this. They seem to drop off the east. We do see a couple that want to kind of linger up this way and drop off as well. And then again, we see some of these Gulf storms moving up as well. But that is the main storm track. It is, in general, working its way from west to east, which is pretty typical. And we're seeing that very, very upstream, downstream pattern is what I'd call it, where everything's moving organized from west to east, which is really the more default pattern. Of course, every day is different, and there is no purely default pattern, but that is the more typical pattern that we find ourselves in oftentimes. Now, total snowfall, as I've kind of predicted for a few days now, the eastern half of the nation here in the east is, it could be E for east or E for empty, because there is no snow out there. What we're gonna just do a W here, even though I don't even need to draw it, you know it's the west, but we can see that there is still plenty of snowfall out there for the mountainous west. So kind of as I predicted, once we had that last little bit of snowfall for the upper Midwest, we saw everything just really lift off for the east, and winter is basically done. I mean, after May 15th, it's very, very unusual to see any snowfall in the eastern half of the nation. So not anticipating that, although these areas here in the mountainous west could continue to see snowfall for just a couple of more weeks after this. Can't rule that out, but we should see this really slowing down after that point. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Be sure to check out the trilogy maps that I mentioned earlier on in the video. Also, subscribe for daily uploads so you never miss one. You can even hit the bell icon for those daily notifications so you never miss an upload at all. Be sure to also like the video if you did enjoy it, leave a comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next video.